Hello friends, and welcome back to Mr. Storman's math class. Today we're going to be learning about perimeter and area. Now before we solve any problems about perimeter and area, we need to define what they are. So, perimeter is going to be our total distance around a figure. It is also called its boundary. It is one-dimensional, and it can be calculated by adding the different lengths of a figure. So if we think about a fence, and we're trying to find its perimeter, we're going to add the different sides of the fence to calculate its total perimeter. Moving on to area. The area is going to be the total surface of a figure. It is two-dimensional, and it is calculated by multiplying the length by the width of a product, and it is always squared. So when we see that little 2 above the number of our answer, that means it's squared, and that's our area. So going back to our fence example, if we think about all the grass inside of a fence, all that grass is going to be the area of the fence, okay? So everything inside. So perimeter is the lengths around, area is the total surface. Does that make sense? Perfect. Now, I have an example. My friend Amanda needs help finding the lengths of 2 sides of her castle. What is going to be the perimeter of her castle, and what is going to be the area of her castle? So, the given lengths of her castle are 5 yards, 8 yards, 6 yards, 2 yards, 2 yards. This side we do not know, and this side we do not know. So we know that this side is 8 yards, and we know that this side also has to be 8 yards. So since we know that this side is 3 yards and this side is 2 yards, 3 plus 2 is 5 yards. So we simply subtract that 5 yards from the 8 yards down here to get our missing side of 3 yards. And to check that, we simply add them all together. 3 and 3 and 2, 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8 yards. 8 and 8, they're both equal. Now, moving on to this side. We know that these sides have to be equal also. This side is 5 yards, this side is 6 yards. So we simply subtract the 5 yards from the 6 yards and we get our 1 yard. So 5 plus 1 is 6 yards. Now we can add all of our sides together to get our perimeter. So we have 8 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 5. 8 plus 6 is 14. 2 plus 2 is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. And 3 plus 5 is 8. 14 plus 4 is 18. And 8 plus 4 is 12. Add those together and you get 30 yards is our perimeter. Now, to get our area, I'm going to divide Miss Amanda's castle into 3 different rectangles. This is going to be rectangle A, this is going to be rectangle B, and this is going to be rectangle C. Now I'm going to find the length and the width of all 3 rectangles and simply add them all together. So 5 by 3 is 15, so rectangle A is 15 yards squared. Rectangle B, the length we know is the width we know is 2 yards, but we don't know the length. But we know the length here is 6 yards, and we know the length here is 2 yards, so we simply subtract the 2 from the 6, and we get 4 yards. So 2 times 4, that's 3. 3 by 4 is 12 yards squared. And we know the width here for rectangle C is 2 yards, and the length is 6 yards. So 2 multiplied by 6 is another 12 yards. And to find the area, we simply add all the areas of the little rectangles. A plus B plus C. 5 plus 2 plus 2 is 9. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And we get our total area of 39 yards squared. So our perimeter is going to be 30 yards and our area is going to be 39 yards squared. And we have solved the problem.